Hi, I'm Christine Carter.
And I'm Lindsay Reed Maines.
And this is a video series brought to you by the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley, which aims to give parents tips for raising happy kids and for being happier themselves.
Christine, last week we talked about why bribing and threatening kids is not the best way to incite action and motivation in them long term. And I get it, but in the short term, I really need my kids to do some things that they might not really want to do. So what are some tactics I can use to get things done?
That won't backfire over the long run. I know, I've got a lot of things that I need my kids to do too. And fortunately, there is a whole arsenal of research which can give us some tips. So I'm going to give us 4 today for how to really tap into kids' intrinsic motivation, their natural internal motivation to get something done, and not have to use those bribes or threats or rewards or the external things.
Perfect.
So the first tip I have for us is to take those boring but necessary tasks and make them more play-like. So imagine you need your kids to clean up their rooms. One way in our household that we make it more play-like would be to have a singing contest from room to room as we're doing that. It's something that we're playing at.
Oh, I love it. So it's like the old spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down tactic.
Yeah, and music is something for us that really makes things more play-like. Another thing is to transform that task by making it more challenging. So if you've got something that's really rote and boring, how can you make it harder for kids to do, actually? It's a little counterintuitive. So I was having a hard time getting my kids to empty the dishwasher. They just didn't really want to do it, understandably. And I made it harder for them to do by giving them permission to put all the dishes away. Because before they were just putting stuff out on the counter, and then I was putting the things that they couldn't reach. So this means they're standing on the counter in their socks, of course, and doing it in a safe way. But this is now a thrilling task for them because I made it more challenging.
We've definitely used that in my house just by setting a timer.
Oh, great idea.
And having the little kids race against the clock. Not against each other because that gets a little too competitive.
For your household, yeah.
For a peaceful task. You
Yeah,
know, they're so close that it's just, but I think it's also really helpful to have an end in sight to the task.
Yeah.
It's a 5-minute cleanup, everybody run, and then they know it's not a whole day thing and there's not as much resistance.
The third thing is to tie the task to some larger purpose. So kids really feel motivated when they feel like they're a part of something larger than themselves. So our household tasks are a part of being our family. It's giving them a role within their family and making clear that that role is important. It's a needed part of our family.
I try to do that with a little bit of humor in my house. I say, look, we're all in this boat. It might as well not be a messy, stinky boat. How about a little help? And they're really good about pitching in when they feel like, A, I'm working with them alongside of them, and B, their contribution is really valued.
Yes.
And also when I don't go behind them and do it over, which is hard to not do, Christine.
Right. Well, so you've just brought us to the 4th point, which is to give kids some autonomy when they're doing it. And so sometimes that means letting go of your vision of how it needs to be done and letting them do it their way, or in, just letting them choose the order in which they get their chores done, for example. So giving them a list and saying, I need you to get all this done by dinner time, and letting them go to it, letting them have some freedom in that.
So it sounds to me like maybe having your kids both be and feel like value contributors is sometimes more important than the actual way the task is accomplished.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I know it's really hard for people like us to let go of it sometimes, but that is exactly right. It's important to let kids have some autonomy in the way that they're getting their tasks done, because then they'll be motivated intrinsically. So our tip for the week is to transform a boring but necessary chore that you have for your kids by making it more playful, making it more difficult, really being clear about how it's tied to a sense of higher purpose, or giving kids more freedom, more autonomy to do it their way.